All right, we're going to call this what I don't recommend when changing the rear main seal and engine mounts, and in my case, the engine mount brackets on your 755. 1, don't wait too long. These things cost $250 a piece, plus the actual isolators. Mine looked pretty much fine, but obviously they weren't. This one has already been welded by someone, made it somewhat thicker, but of course it broke right after the weld. And this one has been probably broke before this one re-broke. That thing's $250 plus the mounts that are 50-ish each. Still waiting on the other side. I don't recommend leaving your starter hanging like that. That shouldn't have happened. Oops. I don't recommend waiting until they break, because then your fan is going to be chewed up and you're going to need to buy a new one of those. I don't recommend doing this if you don't have a decent shop crane, because all I had was this cheap chain hoist and this interesting contraption that my life insurance does not approve of. I do recommend using one of those to get to the bolts that hold the flywheel in, because you got to pull the 6 that are on that isolator, the 8 around the edge of the flywheel plate, and then the 5 that actually hold the flywheel to the crank, which you're supposed to replace those bolts. I think I actually happen to have them, so I guess I recommend that. Otherwise, not an awful job. If I didn't have like kids and a life, I could have done this all in a day and probably had it back together in 10-12 hours, but well, that's not going to happen, and I'm still have it taken apart from redoing all the final drives. But there's enough room to get in here. I already pulled the seal. You're supposed to recess it 3 millimeters further if there's a wear on the crank itself. I don't see any actual wear on the crank, but I think I'm gonna still recess it a little further just so it has a brand spanking new surface. Anyway, you'll probably do it better than I have, but hopefully it'll actually go back together and be okay. Good luck. Don't tell my insurance.